This is a channeled message and light language activation. If you found this message, you were meant to. We've talked before in different transmissions about the need to expand your energy field fully. We want to revisit that because your energy fields have recently gone through yet another expansion. Your aura, your personal energy field, extends much further beyond your body than it did even a few weeks ago. But your nervous system and your body haven't quite gotten used to this idea. So, energetically, it may have felt like you're actually in a phone booth trying to pack all that energy into your body. It's okay to fully expand your energy field. It is actually a way of being more fully embodied. How do you expand your energy field? How do you do this? It's a simple matter of awareness and intent, like you're expanding the umbrella or blowing up the balloon. Yeah, bagadi bagada pogoya, yeah bagada pogoya, yeah bagadi yeah bagada kakakashia, yeah bagadi yeah bagada kakapoya, kakapoya, kakaship, kakashia, yeah bagada pogoya, kakaship, yeah bagada pogoya, yeah bagada kakakaka. Oh yeah bagada pogoya, bagada kakaship, yeah bagada pogoya, yeah bagada pogoya, kakaship, yeah bagada pogoya, kakaship, 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 yeah bagada pogoya, kakaship, kakaship, yeah bagada pogoya, kakaship, yeah bagada kakakaka. Explore the idea of seeing how far out your personal energy field reaches. And of course, you are everything, right? Everything is you. You are everything. But you still have a personal energy field. Play around with that concept. You can play around with it right now. How far does your energy field want to expand? Does it go through walls? Yes, of course it does. How far out from you is it going right now? Oya, yepaka de pokoya, paka kashiap, yepaka de pokoka, ya, yepaka de pokoka, ya, 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 oya, yeah, oya, yepaka de pokoya, pokoya, kakashiap, yepaka de pokoya, pokoya, yepaka de pokoya, yepaka de pokoya, kakashoya, yepaka de pokoya, ya, yepaka de pokoya, kakaship, kakashia, yepaka de pokoya, kakaship, kakaship, yepaka de kakaka. And as you expand, we want to talk about something else that ties right into this, that's directly connected, and that is self-forgiveness. Why can self-forgiveness be so difficult? And does it feel like something that you're forcing yourself to do, almost like a chore that you're giving yourself a do, to forgive yourself? So why don't you just go ahead and forgive yourself right now? Just get it done. Is that what you say to yourself? Is that what you feel like sometimes? It sounds simple enough, but why is it so difficult to let go of things, to stop holding things against yourself? Well, could it be that there's a part of you, a subconscious part of you that says, yeah, but what's the catch? If I forgive myself for this thing I did in the past, or for this experience that I chose to have, or for going down a certain road that I didn't feel was the right path for me at the time, for being in a relationship for a long time that I wasn't happy in, for taking a certain job or career path for a while that you didn't even want, and then later coming back to what you felt like was your true self, and having some unfulfilled desire that you just didn't let yourself have. Well, if I forgive myself for whatever choices I made that brought me to a certain space, that brought about these experiences, what's the catch? If I stop holding those things against myself, what's the catch? What's the real payoff? So you see, there's an element of self-trust involved. Can you trust that you've learned the lesson, whatever that lesson may have been from that experience? The lesson may have simply been to show yourself what you do not prefer to experience, so that you know what you actually do prefer to experience and why. Can you trust yourself enough to forgive yourself? But also, is there a silent, secret payoff to continuing to hold this experience against yourself? Is there like a secret level of enjoyment for the self-punishment involved in holding that thing against yourself, even slightly, even just kind of in the back of your mind? Is there a secret payoff? You don't have to know what that secret payoff is, but if there is a secret payoff to holding whatever this thing is against yourself that you're having a hard time letting go of, when we say that, it's going to trigger an immediate response in your body, and you'll know that there is a secret payoff. So you see, there's a paradox. We're going to give you an idea that might sound a little bit backwards. It will help go through a blockage. If there's something that you find that you have a hard time letting go of, have a hard time forgiving yourself for, have a hard time not holding against yourself, even if it happened a long time ago, maybe it happened when you were young and you just had to learn some things. Maybe you didn't know any better at the time. And maybe you learned that lesson. You made changes. You grew. As a result, you went inside yourself. You saw why you did what you did, and you grew from it. You realized, well, maybe I did that because I was just scared at the time. Maybe I was acting out of fear because I didn't know any better. You can logically know all these things in your mind. You can logically know, oh, I did this for this reason. I did this for that reason. And you can know in your mind that it's okay that you did that. You can even in your mind say, well, it's okay. I needed that experience. I had to learn. I'm not going to hold it against myself. But there's some secret part of you that doesn't want to let it go from your nervous system, because maybe there's that secret enjoyment of holding it against yourself. So here's an idea that might seem backwards. Instead of secretly enjoying that you're holding this against yourself, instead of doing it in secret, allow yourself to enjoy it on purpose. Don't try to force yourself to forgive yourself immediately. Let yourself enjoy that secret payoff on purpose, just for a little bit. That thing you haven't forgiven yourself for, just consciously enjoy that. And if you do this fully, wholeheartedly, you will make the unconscious conscious. You give that subconscious desire permission to come out of hiding. And before too long, you're going to know what the resistance to letting go of that was really about. You're going to know what the resistance is really all about. And sometimes that part of you that resists just wants to be seen. It needs to be brought into the light by being accepted just as it is right now in this moment. Because sometimes when you have a hard time forgiving yourself for something in the past, there's an aspect of you that says, wait, why don't you just accept me as I am? Why don't you just accept me as I am, and then we'll talk? So that's what we're asking you to do. Go into that secret place and think of one thing right now that you have a hard time letting go of. You have a hard time not holding against yourself, some choice you made or a path you've taken. And feel within yourself, is there a secret payoff creating this resistance to forgiving myself? Do I secretly think that it's selfish to forgive myself and stop holding that over my head? And you'll feel immediately that for many of you, this is true. Then just allow yourself to actually enjoy that on purpose. Enjoy that feeling. Fully enjoy that feeling. And you give it permission to breathe when you do this. You give it permission to be there. You give it permission to come out from under the bed like a scared child that hides under the bed. You give it permission to come out from under the bed and just sit on the bed with you and just talk, to just be there with you, and show this part of yourself acceptance. Oya, Yabakadapokoya, Kakashia, Yabakadapokoya, Kakashia, Yabakadapokoya, Kaka, Yabakadapokoya, Aya, Yabakadapokoya, Kakaya, Kapoya, Yabakadapokoya, Yabakadapokoya, Kakashibakashibakashibakashibakashibakaka. So, what are we really getting at here? Oftentimes, when you're caught in a loop of something that's difficult to let go of within yourself, there's a level of integration that needs to happen for you to integrate that learning, to integrate that aspect of yourself. Sometimes it takes a little bit more than simply saying, oh, let me just forgive myself for this thing I did, even if it was a long time ago. That part of you needs unconditional acceptance just as it is first. Because behind that curtain, there's a wealth of knowledge and information about yourself. There's a treasure trove of information. Oya, yabakadapokoya, yabakadakaya, yabakadapokoya, yabakadapakaya, yabakadapokoya, yabakadakaka. Oya, yabakadapokoya, yabakashia, yabakadapokoya. Ayakati yabakadakakashia, yabakadakakaya, yabakadakakaka, yabakadapokoya, yabakadapokoya, yabakadakaka. Yeah, yabakadapokoya, kakashia, kakashia, kakaya, kakaka, yabakadapokoya, and when you adopt this practice, part of what you're doing is letting go of self-blame. You're letting go of the need to blame yourself for something that you did in the past. That doesn't mean that you're not taking responsibility for it, but it removes the guilt aspect, the secret guilt tripping that's easy to put yourself through. It says, I want to let this go. I don't know how to let this go right now. I'm resisting letting this go. Oh, well, now I feel guilty about that. So how do I let this go? And on that loop goes. That part of you just needs to be seen and accepted as it is. Oya, yabakatapokoya, kaka, yabakatapokoya, kakapoya, kakashipkakapoya, kakapoya, kakakaya, yabakatapokoya, kakakaka. Oya, yabakatapokoya, kakashia, yabakatapokoya, kakaship, kakapoya, kakaship, 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 kakashia, yabakatapokoya, kakaship, yabakatakakakakaka. Oya, yabakatapokoya, yabakatakakaship, yabakatakakaka. And this is part of the integration that you're going through right now. Oya, kakaship, 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 kakaka. As you close out a major cycle and prepare to leap forward and expand.